This is the perspective from this window right here. It is looking absolutely crazy outside right now. So there's a lot of people snowed in. But if you're out there, man, look, just drive safe because these are not ideal conditions. People who haven't experienced snow or experienced driving or riding in the snow don't understand how tragic it can be. So yeah, that's one thing I would say about that. You know what I mean? Y'all just be safe out there, man, because these are not ideal conditions to be rolling around in. You know what I mean? But what's crazy is this winter it's been we haven't had a winter like this in a while. I'm gonna be honest with you. We haven't had a winter like this in a very long time. If you go, wow, take a look again. And you guys probably can't even really see it, but there is like the snow everywhere. Like it's blowing off the roof, it's falling from the sky. It is absolutely crazy right now. It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's crazy. But either way, you know what I mean? I decided, all right, well, you know what? It's snowing outside, so I'm gonna come inside and I'm gonna do a stream. I'm gonna come, you know what I mean? Just come holler at the people right quick. But I hope all is well with y'all, man. Real rap. I hope all is well with you. Um, it's been a lot going on in the news lately. You know what I mean? It's been a whole lot going on in the news. I don't really don't want to touch on the files of what it is, you know what I mean? Some of these elites, quote unquote, were doing. But yeah, it's been a crazy eventful week. You know what I mean? Let's type early. You're just gonna give it a minute. That's some chai latte right here. You know what I mean? I appreciate the gift, by the way. Thank you so much for sending the bronze medal. I'm gonna have to look more into what those things stand for, but I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Daniel Loomis, appreciate that. What's good? What's good? What's good, Daniel Loomis? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Hope all is well. Thank you so much. Key Armstrong, I appreciate that. You're beautiful as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, it's been a lot. It's been a very eventful week. It's been a lot going on outside, a lot going on the news. You know, the world is so fragmented, but I feel like as human beings, we have to have clear cut standards of what it is that's right or what's wrong, regardless of someone's race, regardless of someone's gender, regardless of whatever it is, right? I'm not one of those people that want to protect the elites. I believe that they should be held responsible. As a matter of fact, there should be more responsibility or there should be more consequences for someone who is, let's say, enforcing, making laws. For those people to be the ones that are breaking these laws and deciding who goes, to jail and who stays free and all of that sort of stuff when you're the one that's doing all of these crimes. What I've seen in the Epstein, or because to be honest with you, I didn't go through it myself, but I've seen, like I've seen, the documents on Google, and I listened to a lot of what people have been saying about what's been happening in the Epstein files, and some of the things that Maxwell has done and Prince Andrew has done, and are the president, right? How he got there, I don't know how the felon got there, but that guy, some of the things that they've done to children, and it's not just them, but some of the things that they've done to children is absolutely atrocious. And everyone, every single person, every single human being has to hold them accountable. Certain things are just not acceptable. regardless of the race, regardless of whatever it is. And if you're one of those people that are making excuses or turning the other, so to speak, or turning the other way, you're just as responsible for this perpetuating. You're just as responsible for this cycle continuing because you see it and you don't say anything about it. Me, I don't have a problem speaking up about stuff like that, but it's easy for me to do, regardless of what the consequences are. Regardless of what the consequences are, because to be around in a world where those things are acceptable, it's gone. Those things have to be unacceptable right across the board. Because what happens when you allow some people to get away with it is that it becomes normalized and people become desensitized to it. But for me, I was absolutely outraged by a lot of the things that I saw, a lot of the things that I read. Well, briefly read on Google. Because like I said, I didn't actually go see like the 3 million pages or how many ever millions and millions of pages this stuff is. And for there not to have been significant indictments, that's the telling part. You understand what I'm saying? That's the telling part. Oh, so you want everybody else to follow the laws, but you don't? The laws you made, the laws you enforce, you want everyone else to follow it, but you don't? Okay. No. Right? And this is not me going out telling people to break the law or do this or do that. No. But at the end of the day, you can't have one group of people, right? Again, making the laws, enforcing the laws. And these are the biggest criminals out of everyone. The biggest criminals. And then we see plain as day, we see in broad daylight, right? We look at some of the documents and we see exactly what it is that you've been up to. And then people still turn the other cheek. People still sit down there and have that guy gaslight them. Right? And then if you ask him a question and he starts to attack the reporter or starts to attack this, no. What's in the dark will come to light. I have no problem with that. And if you have been if you have been doing these things to children, you ought to be, I'm not even going to say what it is that you ought to be done to you. But the absolute worst of the worst should happen to someone that does those things. It's just that simple. That's the way how I see it. There's no other way. And it has to be done publicly so that an example is made out of these people. Somebody said, I have a serious question. All right, what's your serious question? Ibrahim. Big up to everybody that says hi. What's good, Lana? Alana. Yo, bro, says quick reactions. Big up yourselves. Big up to everybody, man. But yeah, this is my thoughts about that. You know what I mean? I just feel like as human beings, we could do so much better. We could do so much better. Like, regardless of the world that we came into, whatever it is that the world that we came into, you want to be a shining light. You want to be an instrument of the universe, the instrument of God, an instrument of Jah. You understand what I'm saying? And when it's all said and done, there's certain things the Most High is just not going to be happy about. Certain things you're not, like, as human being, like, how can you have a society where it's okay to do these things to people, to children? What's going to happen to the future if you do these things to, you understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think the absolute, there has to be an example made out of these. I think Trump should be impeached. I never wanted him to get elected. I tried everything that I could from this platform, you know what I mean, to not let it happen. I really did. I tried. I went in. And when it happened, I felt like I didn't try hard enough, right? Even though this isn't the biggest platform in the world or whatever it is yet, right? But at the same time, there's still certain things that I feel like could have been done better. I feel like they should have focused more on Trump's involvement with the files. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like they should have focused a lot more on that. But I don't know. Even then, man, because people have hated immigrants for so long. I don't know why. I don't know why people hate immigrants. I don't understand that. But it's the bigotry of a certain group of people that want to keep, right? That want to keep a certain population as the majority. So anything that goes against that, they're afraid. It's fear is what it is. People are afraid to be held accountable. It's fear. But the fact of the matter is, ain't nobody studying y'all. Ain't nobody trying to get back at nobody. People want equality. People want equality. And there are those people that would do anything in order to achieve equality and freedom. Is that too much to ask? And people are roaming the streets, and you got agents picking them up off innocent people, picking them up, throwing them in paddy wagons, bringing them to concentration camps. And that doesn't sit right with me. If I'm honest with you, it doesn't sit right with me. And people need to understand that we're all one, regardless of the race, regardless of whatever. We are all one. You understand what I'm saying? But any group of people, group of people that are doing these things to other human beings, they ought to be treated the same exact way. There ought to be a mirror held up in front of them so they could see how ugly they really are. That's the way how I see it. You can't feel like it's okay for you to do certain things to people and for it not to be done to you. It don't work like that. That's just not how this thing works. But yeah, they elected a felon, and they were okay. A con artist, a complete con man. Nothing this guy ever says is okay. 98% of what this guy says is a lie. The other 2% is the truths that everyone knows. Oh, this is America. Yeah, okay. Cool, that's true. You know what I mean? He may go somewhere and state where he's at. He might acknowledge someone by their name. Those are the truths. But everything else is an absolute lie. You know what I mean? And then you got some people, they just sit there and soak it up. And then they put this guy on a pedestal. How could you put this guy on a pedestal? Look at the things that he's done to kids. You put this guy on a pedestal. This is your leader? That's your leader? I have no respect for anybody in his base. Unapologetically. None. Nobody in his base that sees these things and continue to support this guy. It doesn't speak, because I already know what it is that I'm dealing with him. But now I know what it is that I'm dealing with you when you support these things. So I know exactly the type of person that I'm dealing with. And I don't want nothing to do with that. Michelle Obama decided that she wasn't going to his inauguration. I don't blame her for it. Was it his inauguration? It was something that he was doing. I believe it was his inauguration. But I understand it. Me personally, I don't want to be around fake people. I don't like fake energy. I don't like the fake smiling in your face, but that's not because really, when you're awake, you see beyond the mask that people put on. Like, what's your agenda? What's your ulterior motive? Why are you coming out here to play a role? Are you playing this role in order to get on my good side? Are you playing this role in order to get on my good side to use me, or in order to do? You understand what I'm saying? So these kind of questions pop up, and I don't blame Michelle Obama because she's been around the politics and she's been around these people. And she knows these people are fake. So I didn't have a problem with Michelle Obama deciding that she wasn't going. I commended her for it. Somebody said, "Will 40 acres ever be?" Don't worry, I think he'll make it through this year without being impeached. I Oh, I don't think he'll make it to this year without being impeached, says Dennis. Who knows? Who knows? Dennis, who knows? Who knows, man? He never should have got elected. But here we are. Here we are. And it's such a nasty reflection on the collective consciousness of this country that many people actually decided that they saw two candidates, and because one of them was a female and one of them was a black woman, they decided to go that the best thing for them to do is to go with the pedo in chief. The con man in chief. Huh? So it shows me the collective and I think that really opened my eyes to a lot of things, because I may have been a lot more naive than I thought I was. I didn't think I was as naive as I was. Sure, there's no way this guy. Ain't no. And you know, it's crazy. I saw all this. I'm driving in Long Island. I'm seeing all the signs and Trump signs in the yards. Seeing people driving. They got the monster trucks and all of that with the flag and Trump. You know what I mean? The flag and Trump. You understand what I'm saying? And the crazy part about this is these people, and I've seen it myself, these people believe that they are promoting Christian values, that they are Christian. That's what they believe. These people believe that they are promoting Christian values. I saw a situation that occurred recently, as a matter of fact. It was the students protesting ICE. And this old man gets out of his vehicle and pulls a weapon on these female teenagers and has the weapon on his side right here, holding a weapon, trying to intimidate them. Now, all they're doing is protesting ICE. And he pulls a weapon on teenage girls, right? And has it by his side because he's entitled, because he has the right to do that in his mind. So then the police, I don't know if they were called or if they were at the scene or whatever it is, because there was some time, and you know what I mean, between then and the next, series of events. When the police arrived at the scene and they were speaking to this man, he had a bracelet on his wrist that alluded to him being Christian. And I don't quite remember exactly what it is that it said, but it alluded to him being Christian, or that he believes in God, or he believes in a higher power. But did that higher power insinuate for you to go pull a gun on the higher power's children because they were protesting something that was unjust? And then here's my other thing. Again, we are one. We are one. Human beings, we are one, right? And people shouldn't have to fight for equality, because equality should be something that's granted to them regardless, right? We are one. But here's another thing. And I'm tell you why I believe 100% that he's a pedo. One of the biggest things he wanted to do was to whitewash the administration, to whitewash the government, to whitewash everything. That was one of the biggest agendas that he had. DEI this, this is DEI. You remember when they came in and, put Elon Musk in charge of this and that, in charge of the air, all type of stuff. And everything that was catastrophic that could happen was happening at the time. Oh, this is a DEI hire. This is that. They wanted to take out, right? Out of schools, the history of this, like the true history of this country. They want to take out how they treated blacks, during slavery, during segregation, still to this day. They wanted to take that out of the schools so that the children don't learn these things. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't that far removed. My father's generation, you know what I mean? These people were going through segregation. Now, my father was in a different country, right? But at the same time, the blacks, the Afro Americans that were here were going through all sorts of lynchings and segregation, as we mentioned before. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that long ago, guys. It's not that long ago that this stuff happened. So now the same guy that was trying to erase that is the same guy that was trying to nullify the Epstein files. Why? Because he wants to hide the things that he knows that he's done. Why hide? You Billy Badass. Why are you hiding it? Nah, come out and say you did it. That's the one thing I don't like. If you man enough to do it, be man enough to say you did it. And what he did doesn't make him a man. It makes him a monster in every way. You'll describe this person as someone that doesn't have a heart. Doesn't have a heart. He was given a heart, but it's empty. So how can I waste my sympathy and my empathy to someone like that? I can't. I can't and I won't do it. Kamala Harris won that election, in my estimation. And we're seeing a lot of things that are popping up now about voter fraud and all sorts of stuff that lends itself to my opinion. You know, I'll never be able to understand the group of people or the amount of people that decided that this was the right thing to do. You weren't there, but you're just as responsible for everything that's happening now. And now I see a lot of people that are like, oh no, I'm so sorry that I voted for him. Nobody's trying to hear that. Because you had the opportunity to do something about it when everybody was showing you. He ran on, oh, he was going to bring down prices and this, that, and the third. Bring down prices of what? Bring down prices of what? You might say something about front flip for the live. This dude's a joke. Self-awareness of a flea. Bro, cool. Might say, can't, he's the same dude. Can you read, sound, or thug? All right, cool. Not engaging with the comments. I got to go. Peace. Take care, man. Hey, man, I wish you guys all the best. Look, you ain't got to stick around. This message ain't for everybody. And I'm not finna kiss nobody ass to make you stay, bruh. This is not that type of stream. You understand what I'm saying? Much love to the people that stayed and the people that understand what it is that I'm saying. But if you don't, bro, this ain't for you. I'm not here to try to convince you that it is, bro. Like, this is not that type of show. It's not that type of person. I'm not that type of person. I gotta keep it a beam with you. I don't care what you think. Anyway, Donald Trump is the absolute worst of the worst when it comes to human beings. The absolute worst. The prototype for worst of the worst is this guy. And why should people be afraid to speak up? Your voice is what you have. In order to stop this, you must speak up. If you don't speak, if you see wrong, if you see people doing the wrong thing, if you see people doing things that are wrong, that are harm people, that are harm children or whatever it is, and you refuse to speak up, then guess what? You are just as disgusting as the individual that did it. Like, you saw it. Mm-mm. Couldn't be me. Because whatever the consequences are, it does not matter. I'm going to speak up. That's me. Not because I'm bad, not because I'm tough, but because I'm an instrument of the Most High. Because I'm an instrument of Jah. You see what I say? So yeah, whatever Jah uses me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Period. My loyalty is to Jah. You see what I say? So when it's all said and done, that's just how it is, man. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and just rap to y'all real quick. I'm gonna go make some breakfast or have my girl make some breakfast. I don't know how we gonna do this, man, because, But anyway, I got some tea here. I'm gonna go make some breakfast and gonna call it a stream. I will be back later on because I'm snowed in today, so I'm gonna be streaming again at some point. You know what I mean? But anyway, one love. Big up on itself. If y'all on the East Coast, man, drive safely. It is not ideal out there. It's nasty out there right now. You know what I mean? And again, anybody who hasn't, or if you're experiencing this and you haven't before, it's really dangerous. Like tires don't really stand a chance out there right now. You know what I mean? And the snow plowers, it's not enough slope. It's not enough of them. And they're not driving as frequently as they should. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, you know what I mean? It's tragic out there. But if you have to be out there, man, guys, just drive safe. You know what I mean? There's people that care about you, that want you to make it back home safely. You know what I mean? And yeah, this is just not ideal for anyone. But anyway, one love to each and every one of you. I will be back soon. I'm probably going to be back around 11, 12, 11 a.m., 12 p.m., around that time. Anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like. Thank you so much for the rubies over here as well. I don't really know much about them. I need to, but thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate that. 150. Wow. Thank you. Hey.